Body hurts. All right, let's do this thing. Wait, all right, let's go.
Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk again?
Check. Testing.
Yeah.
See?
See? All right. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Boom. Welcome to the Emotionally Logical podcast, where I feel everything.
And I question everything.
And my name is Karen.
And I'm Gilbert.
We're coming together to try and show you that an emotional and logical person can be together despite our differences and make an amazing marriage together.
See.
And this is normal, okay? A little bit about ourselves. We met when we were teens.
Well, before we get into that, just tell them what happened right now.
A lot. Setting up.
I'll tell them what happened.
Yeah. That was your struggle.
So usually, like, I have a podcast for myself, and I don't want to get into too much fluff in the beginning, but just to kind of go into our podcast, and since it is the beginning of the podcast and whatnot, but the struggles itself. But I know I never did I don't have like an in-person podcast like this where it's like two people live. And so my podcast setup is for one person. So we just got a new equipment, new software, new equipment, all this stuff set up. And then obviously, just like my other podcasts when I first started, anymore now it's quick. It reminds me of the saying I used to tell my co-host is just like, well, fucking something always happens every recording. And just like that, the same thing happened here. So trying to figure out the camera, the webcam, because we're not going. I usually use like a virtual type of platform because I'm usually talking to a co-host somewhere else, and then now the CP or whatever the hell the computer stuff talk, but everything's getting overloaded on my computer because it can't handle all this equipment on the computer, and we're not doing it right into a recorder. I was like, you know what, the computer should be fine. Like it handles my software just fine, but I guess just adding one more mic to it. Again, I'm not a computer guy, but I understand how to fix things pretty quick, and it just overloaded the shit out of my computer. And then trying to troubleshoot, I've been troubleshooting for like 2 hours now, and then finally got everything up and working, and everything's all set up, and the recording playbacks are smooth again because it was choppy. And then just even the mic right here, like now I'm like, I'm gonna throw this stupid mic arm away because it sucks. And my cheap $10 mic, my cheap little mic arm that I've been using for years now, and my wife gets this Rode mic and it's garbage. And so it's like, yeah.
But yeah, and now we're here and his coffee's cold.
Mm-hmm. I was all excited too. I was like, let's do this thing, first episode. But I guess it kind of helps with me talking more because I am kind of annoyed. So
being annoyed helps you talk?
I see. I think so.
Wow. Now I know that. But back to our episode, we want to tell you a little bit about ourselves. First and foremost, we met when we were teens, and we're nothing alike, obviously, when we're teens to now.
Oh, you're 18.
Well, I was 18.
Well,
yeah,
18?
20. You're 2 years
20.
old.
Oh, yeah, I was 20.
Met, dated, didn't work out, went our way, and
Dated for like 6 months.
I thought you said 8.
6, 8, something like that.
Then we broke up, went our own ways, came back together last year.
But we did date in a whole other state that we're not from, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. So he's from Cali, I'm from Texas, and we met in North Carolina while he was in service. And the only reason why I was over there is because I was living with my mom. And my mom had gotten remarried to a Marine, too. And through my mom's husband at the time, I met him. And then we got together, and again, we split young. We did our own thing, and then last year, he came back around.
And I think it'd be a great story to... One thing I do love about that story, and I talk to you, because I go to therapy, and I think one good thing about that story is the more I talk about it out loud to my therapist, the more I realize how much I do love that story and how it could tie in with helping other people, because maybe the whole point of the podcast is helping people who are different, have their differences. And I think me explaining my mindset in another episode of like how I'll go into my own struggles in another episode, but how obviously even though you were amazing and you were great in every way as far as being relationship wise, I still didn't want you because you were great. That's just how my mindset thinks. You understand the whole, we'll get more into that, but my mindset didn't want that because it was too good.
He
It's
was
not
in the
as a
too
Mar-
good to be true state.
not to, well, too good to be true, but it's more in the sense of I knew it was good and I could have it, but as a Marine, I wanted to live in that. How would you say it? Like, I didn't want to get soft from getting too much love and affection. I had to be in a constant state of like deprived in a sense. Because if I'm happy, then I get complacent. You know, I can't just be all happy and in love and feeling good and like, you know what I mean? It just feels better to be in a negative state, I guess, because you handle negative things better. I don't know. That's my mindset.
Some people, he does.
That was my mindset back then. Yeah. Well, I mean, she might
Well,
still be the same thing.
still now.
It was just too much affection, too much affirmations, too much love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need this right now. Distracting.
Damn.
So, yeah. That's a whole nother episode, though.
So, yeah. Then we came back together last year, got married after being together only 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
9 months.
Yeah, 9 months. But the hard questions were asked on my end, you know. What I want now in my life, being in my 30s. I want to be married, kids, whatever, where I want to live, and establish that, and then allowed him to make his choice. Because at the time, I was travel nursing. So I'm a nurse, and I was doing travel, and I said to myself, whenever I want to find my person to build a life with, I want to settle in my hometown. And he lived in California. So I understood his situation, but I did say, hey, like, I want this and that. Are you with it or not? And I knew that even if I were to get a no, I'd be fine. And here we are. We got married, starting a new life, adjusting. And as we have been together, I feel we've been noticing more and more how we are. Obviously, you know, you start seeing the person you're dating onto a marriage and you see them every single day. So you start seeing the good and the bad, and how they handle situations, how they view life, perspectives. And the more that I started observing it, I was like, oh my goodness. He's very, very logical. I'm very emotional. I take certain things more personal quickly. He doesn't. He's more cold. And I believe that's his shield that he built while he was in service. And then even after that, it just became a habit. And yeah, and then I started seeing how even though we're so different, we still make it work. Yes, there's disagreements, but we're willing to talk through them and be willing to hear one another, like listen to one another. Why are you like that? Why do you think like that? Stuff of that nature. And I told him, hey, you know what? What if we come together to show couples out there? Because there's many couples that want to learn how to communicate with their partner and they don't know how. They're seeking some type of guidance. And I would want to share how we've been maneuvering through it. We're not perfect, but we're trying to figure it out day in, day out. And yeah, I offered the idea on a date night, drinking some wine. Where were we?
Comedy show.
And I was like, hey, like, I got this idea. Let's do it. What do you think? This and that. And he's very, very about ideas and projects. And I knew he was going to help me. And here we are. You see? Cold knuckle.
But one thing I knew about, because you were talking and brought up how as we got married, you started noticing me, I guess you could say. But I already knew you were emotional when we were younger. Because that was one of the reasons why.
I mean, I knew you were logical too, but not as bad as how.
I don't think you got the logical part. I think you knew me more of cold. But I wasn't. We didn't live enough together to see how I think logically. So my energy or my emotions was more cold. My decisions were cold. But it was like you didn't know me enough to see the logical side. Mm-hmm. Because we were just kids living, you know, I'd come visit you, whatever. And we go have fun or whatever. But there was no like thinking really. But I already knew you're emotional because you're just an emotional person. So I already knew enough to get that out of it. I think logical, because logical I don't think is the opposite of emotional. Cold is the opposite of emotional, right? So it took a while to see what logical was, I believe, until we started seeing each other every day and living. Oh, actually, I think.
Well, making life choices with our marriage and things of that.
So I saw emotional, you saw coldness, which is, you're going to see that in a person, but it's going to take time to see the logical thinking because it actually takes like thinking now. What do you think of this? My answer is very analytical. We'll look at the facts of this. That's why we would do this type of thing.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first. Like I said, the main one that pops in my head when I had the situation come up is when I changed jobs. So we decided to get our home get a stable, base for us. And I switched jobs. I decided to do a clinic job. I've never worked at a clinic as a nurse, infusion nurse. And it was stressful because it was a whole different environment from inpatient going to being a clinic nurse and this and that, Monday through Friday. And I'm used to working 3 days out of the week. I'm going through training on this new job and I did not like it, but I would come home to vent. Like I like to share how I'm feeling. Oh, this is hard. Like I feel like this, I feel like that. And I would talk to him and his responses were, it's just work. That's nothing. Just do it. That's it. And I felt annoyed, very unvalidated, like he was not wanting to listen to me. And that, yes, I know it's work. Yes, I know I have to go ahead and do it at the end of the day. I'm not quitting, but I am just sharing with you. I'm just struggling a little bit, adjusting, and I just want a little bit of support and motivation type of thing, positive affirmations. But his way of motivating me was go work. It's fine. You'll be fine. I don't even know why you're feeling that way. It's not that big of a deal. So it made me want to close that side of me, but I did not want to, because I know that when in a relationship you start closing off, it's not the same anymore. You start hiding things, or you feel like you can't talk to your partner. And I did not want that to happen to our marriage, especially when we're just starting off. And so I said my piece. I said, hey, I don't like the way that you are with me when I am wanting just support or venting, things like that. I don't know how you felt when I brought it up and told you that. I don't like how you're taking it or how you're trying to motivate me. Like that type of dry motivation does not work with me well, but with him it does.
Well, I don't even see it as motivation. Like, so I say the logical part of me is it is just work.
To me, I felt like he was saying, shut up.
So that's the difference. That's a perfect example for you all to see, is her emotional side sees things as this is how he's meaning it and it's affecting me emotionally like this. When in reality, to me, it's just something as simple as, well, it's just work. I'm confused why we're feeling like this. Like, it's not anything towards you, like how you're taking it, or how you were taking it back then. So that's perfect. Like, most people are the emotional side takes over and starts thinking of other things that's not even being said or felt. And the logical person is just saying things that's like, well, it's just that. I'm confused why it is just work. To me, it's just, yeah, you go to work. Like when I would go, I'm self-employed now, but when I would go and have my job as a Marine or as a cop, it was just, I don't know, I gotta go to work. It's so simple. You just go to work. I'm confused why. I would never feel like, oh, I'm so nervous to go to work today. It was just like, fuck, I don't want to go to work today, but I have to sometimes, but never to the point of like, I'm nervous. It's just what I do. Like, it's just work to me. Even if I switch to a different unit, okay, I'm going to this work today. But I could see why. I think that just came over time with being how I am for so long. I could see myself as an 18-year-old kid being like nervous, but I think just doing what I've done so much that when I did come to a career after the Marine Corps, everything was just less than. So going to work with all these cops, like, what's up? I'm the new guy. Who cares? What's up? I'm gonna go to detectives.
Well, I wasn't worried about being the new girl in the clinic. I was more like, this new work environment is so different and I don't know how I'm gonna do. Even though I'm getting trained. Being a nurse for almost 8 years now, but then you switch to a whole different dynamic. Mm-hmm. But for me, I take things different. I think it just depends on the person, right?
Well, that's the emotional side, and the logical side would be like how we had this, like I said, we're just giving the example in the story, but I never telling you. My thing was, well, yeah, if you're new, you're going to suck. Or if you're new, you're going to suck in the sense of you don't know where anything's at. Yeah. You don't know where they put the equipment at. You don't know where they do this at. Like, it's not that you don't know the job, you just don't know where anything's at. So my mindset has always been very logical in the sense of, well, you're not supposed to know, but you want to know. So you're like, oh, I'm nervous. What if I do this? And it's like, so a logical person like me, when I approached my career as a cop, my first day on the job, I'm not expecting to be great, but I'm not nervous because I'm like, well, I'm new anyways. I'm not expecting to do shit. I'm just, what's up? Like, hey, teach me. Like, you're supposed to literally teach me. It's called the field training. And so now my actions, I'm confident that I will do whatever you tell me to do, and I will be great at it. Like, try my best to be great at it. But as far as like going into it thinking that I'm supposed to know how to.
No, but that's the difference. I did not go into it thinking that I am supposed to know. It's that part where you want to have. I have the confidence to do it, but I'm still nervous to do it, to mess up. And it was just building up.
I see. I was fine with messing up. I already knew I was going to mess up a million times.
But I thought of it more about like the patient stuff. But overall, I just wanted to vent. And then when you started to give me those answers, I was like, damn, he's very logical and I don't like it. That's very analytical. I can't do it. Like, that is not my nature. And so, yes, I communicated those things. And then we started working at it more and more because more situations started coming about, which we will share in future episodes. But yeah, that's the main thing that triggered me to say, I think it's good to share with you all who are in the relationship or have been in a relationship to be able to learn new ways from different people that actually make it work, you know, even though you're different. Because I don't believe in, if you're the same as your partner, like, that's how a marriage or partnership should be. Like, there has to be some differences, like, you know, in order to get better, learn from each other, evolve, and all of those things.
I think so too. I think one thing I learned with the whole thing with I want to be with someone like me, I think there's two different sides to it, which is why I like this podcast and the topic of it, because we have a lot of likes and interests, but we are completely two different people. You're, like I said, you're emotional. I'm more colder. The things that, like how you are and how you think is is completely 180 of how I am and how I think. Which is why I'm very curious of you and I love you how you are. I've always loved that since we met when you were teenagers. Well, when you were a teenager. And I was 20, mature adult.
Yeah.
But
I was such a mature 18-year-old too.
The reason why I say this is because like I kind of get it now, because when I was with my ex and my ex-wife, the reason I know is because even though she was completely different with me as far as like interests like that, we were kind of similar in a way as far as like thinking, or did I say thinking? It's kind of hard to explain. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we were similar in this way as we thought, and the way we were thinking. When it came to like decisions, the analytical part was very similar. Hey, we gotta do this and that. What do you think? Cool, let's do it. Game time. Let's go. Type of thing. It clicked. We thought exactly the same. How we do things was the same. We were kind of very similar in the sense of, yeah, we were just very similar people in that sense, which is why we get along very, very well. But with you, even though, like I said, we are still two completely different persons who grew up two different ways, we're still similar. I don't even know if I'm making fucking sense, but very similar. But with you, you are a completely different person from me. I guess, you know, her as well, like you're from a completely different state. You're actually like Mexican, you know. Paisa. And so even though my ex-wife was
bilingual,
even though my ex-wife was Mexican, she's kind of similar to me, you know, doesn't speak Spanish. We both speak English. We are similar, you know. So you are completely opposite of me, since Spanish, constantly speaking Spanish to your mom. So it's like even though I am the same heritage, it's a completely different culture, which is what I love. I'm like, this girl is so different. I love this. Like, it's something different.
But through that, he's learning about new ways of seeing life, perspective, and all of that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Good.
That's what I'm trying to explain. Is like both women, two different people, but I think it's more of a 180 with the perspective of life and things like that. That's where I'm saying, like, I think it's good to be with someone who is different. You can still have all the same likes and interests, but who is different in all those different things, because you don't get one way of thinking. It helps you see things from two different perspectives, whether it's on life or something happens. Like, you tell me all your stuff and I'm like open to it. That's one thing I do like about myself. I'm not just shut off from it. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You're willing to listen to me. Because I've been with people in the past, like dating, like they'll pretend to listen, but really they're not listening. It's like, yeah. And then there's no sense of them wanting to learn why I think the way that I do or go about things the way that I do, you know? It's just more like, she's annoying, whatever.
We can make an episode about that. Or we already have episodes like that lined up like that, but I'd be into stuff like that too. People have different perspective on things, and they're going to have their reasoning why. And I think it's just good to be open to everything. And we go even to how I was feeling when I first met you, all the different pain I had in my neck.
Well, that one is going to be a good one. It's a good one.
But I was open to things, or else I'll still be in that same pain now. But I've always been open, even though I have my thoughts on things. I'm always been very open to things. Like, let me hear you out then. And then if I have something to back up analytically, I'll tell you, no, that's kind of wrong, or why I think it's wrong, but maybe.
Yeah. But yes, we hope that We help you, we guide you, we open your mind into communicating with your partner in different ways. And in the future episodes, we're here to share with you intimate stories, relationship talk from other people, have guests on here to try and share their experiences as well, how they maneuver relationships or marriages, you know.
Some experts. So we were just talking to, I want to get some experts on here. Like I have a podcast and I have a lot of experts on my podcast I'd love to come on. And I'm hoping with this podcast, because this topic I really truly do love. And I never even thought about talking with an expert on this topic.
A relationship
expert, a marriage therapist. I don't know, any kind of expert in that field, you know. It would be cool to talk to and get their perspective on things.
Yeah.
And it would be cool to talk to get their perspective on things, and then I could tell them my thoughts too.
No, he's saying that I could debate with them too.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're an expert doesn't mean, like I said, everyone's different. There's an expert, or just like in therapy, you know, like because I do have my podcast and it's all, you know, mental health for first responders, and I, even with my therapist, I'll tell her, well, I don't think that's right because of X, Y, and Z, or I know it's wrong, but I like it, so how do you explain that type of thing? But it's only wrong from the sense of societal or societies are. Ugh, it's so stupid. I mean, I don't fucking say the word, but society sees it as wrong. But how can you tell me I'm wrong if it's keeping me safe and it works out
It works for you.
Yeah. But you got this person over here who doesn't do that, but they're getting destroyed by that emotionally in the sense. And she's like, "You make a great point." So I was like,
"Bam!"
You see. You know what I mean? So same thing could happen with like a marriage therapist, you know? Like, okay, I completely get that. And like I said, I am very open, and not every marriage therapist is different. Not every marriage expert or love expert or guru or whatever
is gonna have answers.
Yeah, they're all completely different. They're all different approaches. One might say you need to have, I don't know, one might say you need to be more intimate. One might say you need to be less intimate. I don't know. I never looked into this space before, but I could see, just like the therapy space, they all have different approaches.
But we're going to dive into that.
I'm actually excited to get
learn as we go, you know.
There's therapists, like I said, we talked about, there's therapists who are super soft and they're just like, well, tell me how that feels. And then I like the therapist who's always like,
it is what it is.
Like, well, yeah, you fucked up. I like you. Yeah. You know, like, but it's different approaches. The other one, I bet she says you shouldn't do that as a therapist. The other one's probably like, I like being honest with my client.
Well, so, yeah, there's different people.
So, and I'm hoping that we could get these experts on here so that when you
not hoping, we will.
No, we will. See,
we will.
We will get them on here so that when you listen, you don't have to find them yourself. You just come here and be like, cool, I want to see what this expert thinks on my marriage, or how I think, or how I could tell them, or you know what I mean? So, it's going to be fun.
Very fun. So if you've ever questioned yourself or thought, why can't I talk to my partner, or why can't I connect with my partner? This podcast is for you.
Why can't my partner think like, why doesn't my partner think like me?
Or that. They're essentially in the same realm. This is for you, and we hope you like it.
But at the end of it, you should be able to understand that it is okay to be with someone different. Difference is good. Thinking different. So you just got to work your way around it and find a solution to it.
Always, as a team. We're not against each other. Yeah. We'll see you soon on the next episode.
We don't have any outro, so.
Bye.